Welcome to NXT Health, the bridge between innovations and patient. I'm Dr. Smita, and our today's guest is Chirag Agrawal, co-founder of Lenek Tech. What they have built is truly Make in India, Made in India. It's a handheld device that can take X-ray at the point of care. I really like this innovation. Think about it. Just with this device, our ASHA workers and our Anganwadi workers can take the X-ray without any technical support. AI can help to diagnose the tuberculosis even without the presence of radiologists right away. And not just this device can be useful without electricity. It has a battery backup. But what made these engineers to develop a device that's so practical for our country? Let's hear it from Chirag Agrawal. Hi Chirag, good evening. Welcome to NXT Health. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, so let's not waste time. I am really excited to speak about what you have built for a couple of things. Long back, point of care devices and IoT were the buzzwords, and we all used to speak about it. And now we all speak about AI, but you are doing something both. So I believe that this will be a very interesting conversation. Tell us about Lenek Tech, what exactly you are doing.
Okay, so at Lenek Technologies, our core mission is to make diagnostic imaging completely location independent. So today, like India is fighting an ambitious battle to eliminate tuberculosis, where treatment is not the bottleneck. There is a plenty of system setup and delivery options for different medicines, but screening is the problem. Similarly, we faced a scenario during COVID when screening of patients were not happening. There was no tools to monitor the patients. CT scans were required. So, to target all these issues, we are developing diagnostic imaging tools and devices such that diagnosis can happen at point of care, at least the screening can happen at point of care, and also all the records and data can be managed more efficiently. So, we develop hardware solutions as well as AI powered software solutions.
Okay, perfect. And what I understand is it's Make in India, Made in India product you're manufacturing here in India. So how difficult it is to build anything, any hardware in India? We are good at service providing. We are good at softwares, but manufacturing we are yet to say that yes, we are also good at manufacturing. Is there a playbook? What's your take on that?
So hardware R&D in itself is a long term game. You don't get to see results in 2 months, 3 months after you start designing or jotting things down on a notebook. But India is now slowly growing in hardware space. We have good manufacturing capabilities. We are also getting into advanced manufacturing with recent semiconductor investments by the government. But all in all, the R&D ecosystem around hardware is still in a nascent stage, I would say, in India, specifically in healthcare segment. The whole scope of development mostly revolves around either trading components or integrating different components, imported components, or doing incremental innovation. So it is a little bit difficult journey. The ecosystem is not that much set up, but there are institutes like IIT Kanpur where we are incubated currently. They offer a lot of lab support, technical support, and have a lot of equipment that we can use directly without paying too much. So these kind of ecosystems are now coming up and helping startups like us to build hardware in India.
Very interesting. So, just quickly tell your journey. You were studying, you came up with this idea, you thought that you will do incubation in institute. How exactly all this happened?
Yeah, so we didn't plan to get started with the business at all. After graduating from college, I did some work in some company for a year. Then I joined IIT Kanpur as a research assistant in a defense project. But later, during COVID, everything was stopped. All the projects came to an halt, and me and my school friend Sidesh, we were just spending time at home and decided to build a oxygen concentrator to help out neighboring people. So that's when we kind of started exploring this space. We understood that oxygen concentrator is a fairly simple device. Even then, India was struggling too much to bring in oxygen support to develop these devices in India. So we kind of this idea stuck to us that we have good engineering skills, good backgrounds, and we can use our skills in this segment to make healthcare better in our country.
I understand that. And I think at point of time, everybody was looking at a chest x-ray. And I
Yeah.
can understand that infection and other things has always been a problem. What about like thinking about let's do the invention as well as manufacturing over here in India? How that came to your mind?
Yeah, so ideally, the common route for most of the IITians is like do IIT if you want to get involved in hardware or tech, or do some research outside MS, Masters, or PhD in some foreign university. But just after graduating, me and Siddesh both were came up with a notion that we don't want to leave the country for work. We want to work in this country itself. Then we also started looking for different ideas or different companies where we can work on research or R&D or product development, but we couldn't find suitable spaces for us. So that's why we remained in India, started building things here, and R&D still remains our main focus. Manufacturing comes naturally when we are talking about hardware devices.
True.
So there's no particular logical reason why we stayed in India, but yeah, that's that's what we want to do.
Okay. Now, let's come back to the device. This device helps to take the X-ray where the patient is, wherever the remotely it's available, and we know that screening is not easily available everywhere. Now, if the device is available somewhere with Anganwadi workers or at PHC level and other things, walk me through what exactly it happens, how it helps. So, tell me about who's using it, so how we screen it.
Okay, so let's say a patient walks into a primary health center somewhere in a rural setting or a remote setting. Conventionally, these primary health centers don't have X-ray facilities there because the infrastructure is not that developed to make a radiography room and install a big machine and all of that. So
Yep.
now with our device, as soon as the patient comes, the ASHA worker or the technician or the radiographer there can just pull out this X-ray handheld X-ray device and do a chest X-ray instantaneously, and also that data can be shared directly with remote doctors. The AI interpretation can be fetched real time using our software solution. So all those things happens instantaneously. If the PSC is well connected to a district hospital, then it's good that doctors can provide the feedback. If it is not at all connected, at least we have a screening report from AI based on which escalations can happen.
If we look at the use case over here, it's not just rural area, right? Like suppose if I have my own hospital in my tier 2 city where I come from, setting up a big x-ray unit, it's a cost, and maintaining it, and also the radiation exposure, lot many things comes with that. So do you think this device can be used for anyone who wants to have an x-ray facility in their clinic setup?
Yeah, this device can be used even in tier one cities and big hospitals as well. Like there are a lot of issues when X-rays are done at in ICUs, or bedside X-rays are done. Even in big hospitals, they have to carry a mobile X-ray machine, then set that up, then do X-rays. The leakage radiation is too much, so other patients also get affected. So all of those problems would be kind of reduced in terms of their impact with this kind of device. And also more and more people are now realizing that it is in the healthcare industry itself that it is better to serve patients and outside the hospitals rather than bring all of the patients to the hospital itself. So like pathology test happens, almost all the tests in tier 1 cities happen at patients home nowadays. So
Correct.
that kind of scenario can be built using this device in the radiology space as well.
AI is giving some prompt, reports over there by saying that we can see the finding, but doctor is not available. So how your system helps? By diagnostic, it doesn't help. We want to treat the patients.
So AI basically is providing a triaging assistant, whether the patient is having some pulmonary difficulties, whether it can be possible that there are symptoms related to lungs, but the main issues lie in a cardiovascular system. So those kind of segregations can happen using AI. For final diagnosis, we would anyway need a doctor to formulate the final diagnosis because it is dependent on a lot of things, the symptoms that were there, the chest x-ray, then some pathological test needs to be done as well. But the point of AI here is the case which would not have been escalated without AI. It may be possible that symptoms are normal, it is normal cough, but the patient is suffering from TB. If there is no AI, he would be given just medicines for normal cough. But if there's AI, at least maybe AI would flag TB, and the health worker there would escalate the case to a doctor, or
Yeah.
at least tell the patient that your condition may be serious. You need to definitely travel to a district hospital and get treated. So that is the gap that AI would be filling. For formulating a diagnosis, we would need a doctor. That say AI cannot replace that possibility right
Correct.
now.
Correct. Apart from like, because you have already built this whole thing, is it only specifically for tuberculosis, or we can say that it is, X-ray for chest X-ray, PA view, or it's more generic, or the AI is specifically for tuberculosis?
This the hardware device is generic. It can be used for just X-rays, for extremities X-ray, joints X-rays, all of those. For AI, we have built right now models for tuberculosis detection. Our lung cancer screening models are also at a good maturity. And
Mhm.
there are different findings that we produce for, let's say, chest X-ray, whether we see consolidation, edema, or cardiomegaly. So all those findings we produce, and with time we would keep adding more and more findings. So eventually, the objective is to bring out respiratory and cardiovascular findings into the AI panel, and using chest X-rays, and then we would be moving to ECG and ultrasound as well. So ECG, ultrasound, and X-ray, these are three modalities that we want to target in terms of AI interpretations, as well as hardware to make them accessible to everyone.
Wonderful. And I started with the POC and IoT, like we used to keep speaking about it long back, like I think before COVID, and it's not new. But then I don't know, it may be just me that it was not very successful at that point of time, like when everybody was wanted to build a point of care devices or IoT devices and other things. Do you think now it'll work, or we are ready now, or why now, right?
So there has been a lot of developments, especially after COVID. So electronic health records are now gaining more and more. Government is publicizing to keep electronic health records. It would be done mandatory as well, and sometimes. So that is one part. Due to this push for electronic health records, we are naturally moving toward digital systems. Now, before there were no laptops, there were no PCs and small health centers. Now you can find a computer, a workstation at every smallest to smallest of health center. So that is one ecosystem shift that we have been seeing. And also the older, if we talk about X-ray, the older portable devices were just a smaller version of the bulky X-ray devices. They needed main supply to operate. They needed a lot of infrastructure and maintenance issues were there. So now the new generation devices are not those category of devices. These are completely battery operated digital devices. So semiconductor industry and electronics has also moved, which allowed the
Yeah.
inception of these kind of devices. So overall, it's a development of ecosystem that India is facing and India is going through, and which has made point of care diagnostics possible or accessible to people.
Yeah, yeah, true, very true. And the device that you have developed, is it a battery operated, or do we need to charge it, or is it based on electricity?
Yeah, so it is a battery operated device. We need to charge it in a single battery. We can do around 100 to 120
Wow.
X-rays.
Hmm.
After that, we need to charge it. The charging time ranges from 2 to 3 hours, depending on the stability of power supply. So the charging time is not too much. We can easily do 100, 120 exposures. So all in all, it is a fully independent system, independent of electricity supply.
Tell me one thing, like whenever we talk about manufacturing, all the products that is like these China products or Korean products that are available, and they do manufacturing. So how you're thinking that you'll be able to compete with, that manufacturing protocols that are already established in our country versus somebody who's trying to build it over here?
Yeah, so Chinese and Korean companies are majorly winning because they have two things in place. One is quality of manufacturing, and second is the bulk of manufacturing or the volume of manufacturing. So volume brings down price. India itself is well placed in terms of quality of manufacturing. In automobiles, we have been developing precision parts since 2 or 3 decades now, and in defense also we have been doing a lot of local manufacturing. So in terms of quality, it's not a problem to compete. In terms of volume, it is a problem. But as more and more Indian companies would start exporting their products, become global brands, and also Indian policies are now moving favoring Indian brands. So that gap would slowly get closed. So
Correct.
it's all a game of volume production, and volume production comes in when your company is exporting or supplying products globally.
Very true. Very true. What about the cost? Because when we again talk about make in India manufactured over here, do you think it'll be an expensive product compared to what we can get it from China or Korea?
So if we compare similar quality products, it would be even cheaper than and more affordable as compared to China and foreign countries, because now due to volatile geopolitical situations, the custom duties and all kinds of duties have been increased. So if we include all of those things, importing a product from China would be as pricey as developing it in India, if the development is good enough and it is at par with Chinese development, and manufacturing scale is also at par with Chinese manufacturers. So in price point, we can definitely compete. It's just a game of again volume production.
Okay. And do you have Indian competitors, those who are working on the similar thing?
So there are many manufacturers who are currently importing product from either China or Korea and doing the final assembly in India. There are many players like that. In terms of technology development, as far as I know, we are the only one who have developed the entire technology in India.
And tell me one thing. See, you are from a tech background, and you're like, okay, we'll build our own product. We have the AI that we can implement. All these things are there, and you're like pretty sorted with whatever you're doing. But was there any moment where you realized that okay, we are doing our part, but the system is not supporting us? Like so. What are the scenarios that you have encountered while through this journey?
Yeah, so since day one, we have not felt there was a single day where we felt like everything is sorted. So there are a lot of challenges, especially we come from core engineering background. We don't have much experience in healthcare industry and this particular segment. So we had to learn most of the things by using first principles. So we interacted with a lot of people. Initially, regulatory clearances become the biggest hurdle for medical device development, especially in India, because the regulatory roadmaps are still getting modified and updated, and it is a fresh thing which India has implemented for quality control of medical devices. So it is a difficult thing to crack the regulatory roadmap, to crack the regulatory clearances, and we also faced most trouble with that. We faced a lot of trouble getting our product certified by BIS, and now we are looking at ARB. So there are different bodies and different regulations, but it is a little bit difficult to crack those.
And it's been how many years that you are developing this product now?
It's been around more than 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, from where we started. So we started by just experimenting with X-rays, and now we have the product. So that took around more than 3 years.
Okay. And what stage you are at right now?
So we are getting the product certified by CDSCO now, CDSCO and ARB. We should have our final clearances in 2 to 3 months' time, and after that we would commercialize the hardware device. For the software device, we have already got all the clearances. The product is doing well in the market currently, and we are now looking to scale that up with the hardware.
Tell me one thing. Whenever anything that we build it in healthcare, doctors are important component of this whole
Yeah.
ecosystem, right? I would say that. And doctors works on trust. They need all the regulations, approvals, NABL, NABH. You have to. I mean, it's like like unending list. You need publication, clinical trials. You have to prove and build that trust. So how you are, addressing that challenge of building trust among doctors?
So, since beginning itself, we have been working with a lot of doctors and medical institutions. We have published research papers in collaboration with different doctors. We are constantly in touch in terms of demonstrating our product and getting their feedback on how to improve, gathering data. So most of that data as well we have gathered organically from India. We have not just used the open source data sets. So through that we formed good partnerships. But yes, anyways, to build trust in healthcare industry, we need a lot of publications, clinical trials, and then demonstrations. And also there should be a sponginess to absorb different feedback from different doctors and different who are sitting at different levels, because in India there's no fixed SOP for doing anything in the healthcare industry. So everyone has their own perceptions and way of doing things. So there needs to be a lot of flexibility when offering products in the Indian market, specifically in the healthcare industry. That flexibility needs to be there, and we are also trying to build that flexibility.
Okay. And how big is your team now?
Currently, we have around 15 full-time members and around 10 part-time
Wow.
people
Okay.
who are consultants or interns or just people who are helping out pro bono. So we have around 25 people in total working with us.
Very nice, huh? Very, very nice. And what's the future plan? Where you're taking the company ahead?
So we want to dominate the portable category in diagnostic imaging space in India. We have started with X-ray. In the next 3 to 4 years, we want to be the biggest player in the handheld X-ray category. Further moving ahead, we are also planning to develop a ultrasound imaging device that can be used in Indian context. And moving ahead, we would also venture into more sophisticated device which use X-rays. Like there are C-arms, there are CT scan machines, all of that. So the long-term plan is to move in more sophisticated systems, but currently we are focusing on this X-ray and ultrasound to make them portable and bring them in the hands of everyone in India.
Correct, correct. And tell me one thing, in this complete journey of last 3 years, what was your biggest challenge?
Uh, I think the biggest challenge in India, specifically for tech companies, is to build a robust team because not many people in India are too keen on doing R&D. It pays less initially, and there are more frustrations, more challenges involved. And I think there is a notion that is like very normal in India, that India cannot do good R&D. So a lot of people just want to stay away from R&D or getting into deeper aspects of it. So building a robust team is the most difficult part, and finding people who are equally passionate to work on technology just for the development aspect of it, because startups cannot pay that much. The R&D space in itself, if even if it is a big company, doesn't pay that much. So you need to build team of people who are very passionate about tech.
Very true, very true. And if someone is listening to us today who wants to get into, who's from a tech background, not from a medical background, and who wants to get into what you are doing, like similar kind of innovation they want to do, R&D, manufacturing. What's your message to them, or rather say that to your younger self, like 3 years back? What was that one thing you would have said that, oh, I wish I had known this before, starting this whole journey?
I think the one thing which is very counterintuitive in healthcare industry is in other industries, if you bring a cool feature, you bring a very good tech or very new thing in some product or some ecosystem, it is going to fly in the market. You know from get go that this is a good feature, that this is evaluated, this is going to fly. But in healthcare industry, if you do too many of the changes in the product, the customers won't accept it because it challenges the norm. Even if the features are good, it is actually solving a problem, but people would have a lot of inertia in moving to a new process, a new system, a new tech. So that is one hard learning that we got while we were on this journey, and no one thinks of it if they are not originally from healthcare industry or from similar backgrounds.
Very true. And I think that were the questions I wanted to ask you. And I wish you luck. I really want to see how this shape up. And I want to see your devices wherever it is possible. We are always there to support you. Thank you for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It was a great discussion, and hope to keep discussing you on a lot of things in the future.
And that was Chirag Agrawal, who's incubated at IIT Kanpur. If you liked our podcast, make sure you subscribe and share this with someone who's passionate about building something in healthcare. This is NXT Health, and I'm Dr. Smita.